Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and man, it sent ripples throughout the world. Even people who are not into politics have heard about this, have had discussions, have asked me about it. We've had some dialogue about it. But if you are in the political world, it definitely hit you, whether you're a person that supported his candor or if you're a person that did not. I appreciated his candor. I did not agree with all of his ideology, but I agreed with most of it. Full disclosure. This is the video of what happened at this. He did these speaking tours at colleges, and this is what he was known for. So let's take a look. I've actually blurred out some of the video. I know social media is not going to allow some of this stuff to be shown, and be honest with you, I don't think it should be shown either. But I did see the full video, and it's horrific. Take a look. This is Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
We're not counting gang violence.
Oh my God. Go, run.
Not counting gang violence.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. So this one actually is a video that shows the bullet hitting his neck and blood just gushing out. When I saw this video, I know they had taken him to the hospital, but I knew immediately, just from the way it looked, I'm like, oh my God, I don't believe he's gonna be able to survive that. This video is horrific. It's sad, man. He's a family man. He's got a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. Let's take a quick look, man. Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot on September 10th, 2025 at Utah Valley University during an open-air Prove Me Wrong debate in what Utah Governor Spencer Cox described as a political assassination. The 31-year-old was struck in the neck by a single bullet fired from a rooftop, with the shooter described as a college-aged. Still at large as of September 11th, despite a recovered high-powered bolt-action rifle bearing transgender and anti-fascist markings. Kirk, a close ally of President Trump, co-founder Turning Point USA in 2012 at the age of 18, growing it into a major conservative youth movement with over 850 college chapters focusing on free markets, limited government, and controversial stances on issues like gun rights, immigration, and Christian nationalism. There's going to be some people that have fond memories and a lot of love and praise for him, and there's going to be people who have vitriol responses for him, and we're going to go into some of that here momentarily, but let's take a quick look at this first video where they break down the events that transpired.
We start tonight with new developments in the shooting death of political activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI announcing just hours ago the person of interest they had in custody has been released. Police now conducting an all-out manhunt for the shooter.
A new video shows the chaotic aftermath of that shooting on the Utah Valley University campus. And this video shows the moment the gunshot rang out while Kirk was speaking to students. We've paused it before he was hit, but witnesses say the bullet hit him in the neck. Late tonight, police say they believe the shooter fired from the roof of a building in what they're calling a targeted attack.
President Trump announcing tonight that Kirk's death earlier today, also posting on video on social media.
An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come.
Kirk grew up in the northwest suburbs, and tonight those who knew him are remembering him.
But this violent incident also sparking another conversation about the political violence our country has seen in recent years.
We have seen a lot of violence, and it makes no sense to me because it's like no matter which side of the aisle you're on, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever, I think that you should be able to express ideas. I think there should be a dialogue, a healthy dialogue in politics. There should be sharing of ideas and debating of ideas without without the violence. If we're not going to allow freedom of speech, then what are we doing? Because it can't just be, oh, I'm for freedom of speech as long as you agree with my ideology. And if you say things that I'm opposed to, then I want violence on you and violence on anyone that thinks like you, and then celebrate it, as you're going to see here. Sure, did Charlie Kirk have some controversial views? Sure. And once again, I'll repeat myself, I do not agree with all of it, but a lot of the things that he stood for, I totally agree with. So let's take a quick look, man. The vitriol expressed towards Charlie Kirk and his untimely demise.
News, Charlie Kirk was in the neck. As of right now, I think his condition is unknown. And there are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people. So on behalf of everybody else, I don't know if he's gonna make a recovery or not. I don't know what his condition is. It just happened as I'm filming this. I saw the video of it happening. I do not feel bad for him in the slightest, and I'm very, very much wondering what MAGA is going to react with. I wonder how they're going to make this about how black people shouldn't be allowed guns, or trans people. They're probably going to blame a trans black person. I don't fuck. But we can all celebrate because something really awful happened to a really, really awful guy. And again, if you're one of those dipshit people that are like, no matter what happens, you should never wish death on some... I'm gonna cheer and dance and sing. Thank you very much.
I swear I'm not happy about I'm not happy about this news. I'm not happy about this news. It's so unfortunate. Can I just send a message to this? Great idea, wrong target. No, but seriously, we're gonna be serious. It's so unfortunate when bad things happen to bad people. No, but seriously, Charlie Kirk, shots and prayers.
Charlie Kirk is dead. Suspect not in custody. What?
A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't care what y'all say. A win is a win.
Siri, please play Shoulda Ducked by Lil Durk featuring new artist Charlie Kirk.
Looked like the hate speech finally caught up with old Charlie Kirk. Sorry, Charlie.
My coworker was all in a tizzy because she gonna tell me that Charlie Kirk got shot, and I said good. And I'm glad he got shot. Hopefully he dies. I don't care.
We're now at the point where the left is perfectly fine murdering people just because they don't like the sounds that come out of their face. Because let's be real, it's all Charlie ever did. Charlie had an organization that was dedicated to helping educate young people. Half of that organization was dedicated to helping people find faith. And in his spare time, he liked to debate with people. And for that, you fucking murdered him. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't changing laws that affected your life. He wasn't stealing money. He wasn't doing any of that. At the end of the day, Charlie talked to people. He gave people an opportunity to say what bothered them, how they disagreed with him, and then he got his opportunity to say why he was right. And for that, you fucking killed him.
Yeah, for that, you effing killed him. And I guarantee the majority of these people that have this vitriol response towards the demise of Charlie Kirk, they probably all are for freedom of speech. They probably are. But they're only for freedom of speech when you side with them. If you have an opposing argument, they wish harm on you, which is unfortunate. What is that? If we can't sit there and have debate and have ideas and share ideas, now we're not going to agree with everything, man. I heard somebody once say, man, I might not agree with everything that a person has to say, but I will defend their right to say it. And I agree. There's going to be some horrible and disparaging things people are going to say, but it is freedom of speech. I don't agree with people behaving this way and celebrating this man's assassination. It's crazy. There's an FBI agent that they interviewed. He has some opinions on what he believes transpired. And let's go ahead and go to that video next.
Let us bring in former FBI Special Agent and Navy SEAL Jonathan Gilliam. Jonathan, what are your colleagues, former colleagues there at the FBI, doing right now to try and find this killer, from boots on the ground to combing through cyberspace? And by cyberspace, I mean the entirety of the internet and what people might have said both before and after this horrific tragedy.
Well, there's a lot of things that they can be doing. I think primarily and first and foremost is finding as many cameras and footage of this event prior to and after the event to see where the individual came from and where they fled to. But this is an issue that I'm having, because if they were able to access a roof, if that is in fact a roof that they were on, how was that allowed to occur? Was that individual an employee at the school? Did they have some kind of special access? Or was a threat assessment just not done and a door, for instance, was left wide open?
Real quick, I had the same thoughts when they showed people who had the videos showing that there was a guy on top of the roof crawling in all black. I don't understand why people didn't like scream and yell and say, "Hey, there's a guy on top of the roof." And someone like Charlie Kirk, man, who is a staunch supporter of President Trump, and he does these open air debates in college campuses. I would have thought, man, that they would have all rooftops covered, especially with what happened with President Trump.
I think that's something that needs to be asked, because that narrows the scope of who could have been up there and who could have taken that shot. They're also going to look at toll records, for instance, whose phones were where at that particular time. And this is information they can get very quickly from the phone companies with subpoenas. And that will tell them through the different triangulation of the different cell towers. It'll tell them who was where, not quite specifically, but pretty close, and how they were moving around that area. That's going to be very important if they can identify those phones. And then they're going to be scrubbing social media before that event to see if anyone associated with that area was making threats, making odd comments. But by and large, I'll tell you one thing that's very difficult about this that we didn't see with the Trump assassination attempts is in both of those cases, there were eyewitnesses that pointed to the person. In one case, the individual was shot in Pennsylvania, but the other individual was caught because of a very good witness that pointed out the vehicle that he was in. In this case, we don't have either of those things. And I think primarily because a proper threat assessment wasn't done, the individual was able to get up there, take the shot, and get out of there while wearing black fatigues, carrying a rifle. And if their threat assessment was that incompetent, then most likely that shooter was able to get away, which means now they're backtracking and looking for more evidence.
You know, Jonathan, at least investigators aren't flying completely blind, because there is footage, and the shooter is described as somebody wearing, like you said, a black mask, a black tactical vest, and a helmet. What does that say to you?
Well, it says that they came prepared. It says that that individual came prepared to take that shot. So they knew that Charlie Kirk was going to be there. They were familiar with that area. If they were not familiar with that area, they wouldn't just show up. I mean, the show had just begun. It was the first show in that tour. So that individual showed up and was able to gain access. That means they knew where the stage was going to be, most likely, and what building that they could get on in order to take that shot. They came dressed in case if it was a Kevlar helmet, then they were ready to get shot at. It also leads me to believe that there's a possibility they went back inside that building, took off those clothes, and exited with everyone else in the melee of the situation. Because if there was only 6 police officers there, remember, Charlie's team is not responsible and cannot just shut down buildings and then occupy the whole space. That's law enforcement's job. So if there wasn't enough law enforcement there to do a proper perimeter security, then that means there wasn't enough law enforcement there to weed out the people as they ran off.
Jonathan Gilliam, thank you so much for being here this morning.
So there you have it from a former FBI agent, giving you his analysis of what happened. So we're going to go ahead and take a look, because as of right now, the killer is still at large. Authorities have not apprehended Charlie Kirk's killer. The investigation is ongoing with a manhunt underway for the unidentified sniper who carried out the fatal shooting. So let's go over to FBI gives an update.
You say he was college age. Do you believe he was from this university? And how far do you think he may have gone in this time span?
So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation, and again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he has gone yet, but we will do our best.
But you have a clear image of his face?
We have images of the suspect.
So, did you trace the gun's owner?
That you've been able to recover, do you believe you know this person is the person that you're looking for at this point?
Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such as that right now.
Fingerprints or DNA?
We are exhausting all of our resources to be able to collect those, but that's, again, part of the investigation.
Have you been able to trace back the owner of the gun?
Excuse me?
You said you found the weapon. Have you been able to trace back the owner of that weapon or who purchased it?
We are working on that, but again, part of the investigation that I can't release.
Agent Bowles, there's been a lot of turnover at the FBI. Do you think that's impacting the investigation?
Not at all. We've got complete and total support from everyone from the director on down, and it's been an incredible supportive environment so far.
Are tweets like the one yesterday useful though, where we announced the suspect was represented?
All I can say is that we're working the investigation the best we have with the environment we're given. So,
Those
thank
are all
you.
the questions for right now. Thank you, everybody.
So the headline came at the end there, Dana. We have images of the suspect. That after they gave us a number of details that we were not privy to prior. So they say a number of individuals questioned, they've been released, they asked for privacy for them. At 11:52 a.m. Utah time, they tracked the suspect to that building. They later, after the shooting, tracked him jumping off the building, fleeing into a neighborhood. And they're asking neighbors in that area if they have doorbell cameras to turn over anything that may produce an image. What they didn't say is whether or not he ran there on foot or drove a car. But later they said, we do have good video of this individual. We are confident in our abilities. And with regard to that, they say they have footwear prints. So perhaps he was on foot, and also palm prints. And they asked for any video and images tipped to the website there. This is a bolt-action rifle. It is manually operated. It is extremely accurate. And according to a lot of gun experts, it has fewer moving parts, which would give the killer an opportunity to take a more accurate shot. And based on the graphic images that the world saw yesterday afternoon, that shot was a kill shot. It took one, and Charlie Kirk barely had a chance of survival.
There's only so many questions that they can answer. It totally makes sense. So as of right now, they do not have a suspect in custody. They do have the rifle. So they are ascertaining information, and it looks like there's a lot of people who called in the hotline. So right now they're thinking it could quite possibly be somebody who is a college student, which would just be crazy. So let's take a quick look, man. Let's see what some of these disgusting political analysts have to say.
Here is MSNBC covering this enormous tragedy, appearing to put the blame on Charlie for his death.
Talk to me about the environment in which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
MSNBC, you are
Disgusting. Basically trying to justify the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And his first comment, well, we didn't at this moment we don't know if it was a supporter firing off his gun in celebration. So like it was an accident. This guy is disgusting. And just to insinuate that, oh well, because of his rhetoric, he deserved to be assassinated, and this is what he's alluding to, and it's disgusting. And that gentleman, from what I understand, has been fired. That gentleman has been fired by MSNBC, and if he has been fired, good.
disgusting, and you should be so ashamed of this. It is so sick. It is so low. It is heartless. Heartless, rather. It is a disgusting network. And here is MSNBC again. Look at this.
As we were just talking about a moment ago with Alan, after one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
MSNBC, you are soulless.
I agree. They're soulless, man. MSNBC. That right there lacked class. And I know the gentleman got fired, and the lady who just spoke there, she has no class as well. President Trump spoke about this. So let's go to that. He has some words to say. Charlie Kirk, huge supporter of President Trump. A lot of people believe he was instrumental in getting President Trump reelected. And I know that he was close to the Trump family. Let's take a quick look at what President Trump had to say about Charlie Kirk.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace.
The president also wrote on social media, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me. And now he is no longer with us. Melania, and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you.